Hello, fellow peasants. Today I'll be reviewing 1981's Excalibur. Alright guys, so it happened. I finally watched 1981's Excalibur, directed by John Borman. This is a film that I just recently was introduced to. I don't remember where I saw it at on YouTube. But I was like, that looks pretty badass. Why have I not heard of that before? Let me check this out. So I found out Arrow had released a 4K transfer sometime late 2025. So I went to Amazon, ordered that. It just came in several days ago. And I finally got around to sitting down and watching it. And I'm going to let you know what I think. So what is Excalibur about? Well, it's basically the old King Arthur story. So, and I don't know, prior to this, I didn't know shit about King Arthur and Excalibur and Sir Lancelot and all of that. I didn't know, and Sword in the Stone. I knew nothing about all that stuff, right? And I still don't know a lot about it. Just watching this film alone doesn't make you some sort of professional in this or something. But I know a bit more now. And really what it is King Arthur's dad, he's like lustful for this other king's wife. He's like, I want her no matter what. Merlin, grant me one night with her. And Merlin's like, okay, but there's going to be a price to pay. And so he hooks up with that king's wife. And then Merlin's like, okay, well, I'm going to take the baby that you had with her. I'm taking the baby. And then Merlin gives the baby off to these other people to raise as his own. And years later, Arthur grows up. He's just I don't even know what he is. He like serves some knight. He's like is it a squire? I can't remember. There's some term. He's low on the ladder, right? He's not high on the ladder in society, really. He's not super low. He's not like a butcher's son or some shit. But anyway, so he's raised by these other people. His dad's dead. His dad was like, if I can't have Excalibur, no one will. And he puts the sword into the stone. So Arthur's dad puts the sword into the stone. Arthur grows up. Everyone's trying to pull the sword from the stone because they want to be the next king. And then Arthur's like, yeah, he just like pulls it right out. He's like, oh shit, look at that. And then Merlin's like, oh, I guess I got to tell you who you are now. Your dad Uther was a king and blah, 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 blah. And so now Arthur doesn't want to make the same mistakes as his dad. Merlin's kind of like his advisor. He's like, your dad was very hasty in his decisions and he made a lot of bad decisions. He wasn't a good king. He wasn't a man of the people. You have a chance to rectify that, basically. You can be a king of the people. You can show mercy. You can show humility. Don't be short-sighted in your decisions. Think long-term. Think about what's for the best of the kingdom. If you're a loving king, a giving king, that will work out better for you than conquest and desire and all of that. And so the rest of the film is just following King Arthur as he struggles to not follow in the footsteps of his dad. And he's trying to maintain his original goal of being a good king, a true king, but he's got all these other things. His wife's cheating on him with Sir Lancelot. His half-sister, who was his dad's, his half-sister Morgana is like jealous that he was chosen to be king and not her, and this and that. And so there's all kinds of like inter-family drama. There's affairs happening, and so it's hard for him to rid the land of evil when he's got all this bullshit going on. And he's like, how do we get rid of this evil? Where's the evil at? How do we fix it? And they're like, we got to go find the Holy Grail. So they go on this quest for the Holy Grail to purify the land and get rid of the evil and bring the land back to the bountiful place that it was. And that's pretty much the gist of the film. That's a layman's term. That's an explanation for someone who doesn't really know shit about the Arthurian legend, but that's the basic rundown. Okay, so what do I like, what do I not like about Excalibur? What I like about Excalibur, like the thing that pulled me in first, as soon as I turned it on, was the tone. The tone was not what I was expecting. I was expecting just a little bit more of that typical 80s fantasy acting, a little bit of humor, the cheesiness, it's very serious. It takes itself very serious. Um, and it's artsy. It's shot better than most films in this genre. It's beautiful to look at. I don't know who the DP was on this, but the camera work is fantastic on this film. John Boorman, who got a lot of shit as director of The Exorcist 2, he really knocked it out of the park here directing this. It looks great. The tone is consistent throughout. There's only a few moments of humor in here. Most of it dealing with Merlin. Merlin's kind of the person who's like, don't do that, don't fuck up again, don't, so there's a bit of humor infused with Merlin trying to teach Arthur to not, follow in the same footsteps as his dad, who was a bad king. But overall, the tone is just serious. The compose, just the way that the film's shot is artsy. It's beautiful to look at. So the cinematography here, fantastic. The acting here, great, top notch. People had issues with the fact that this was dubbed over, redone in the studio, dialogue wise. I don't have any problems with that at all. I watch a lot of like Giallo films, so I don't mind watching. It didn't come to my attention while watching this, like, oh my god, that mouth like didn't perfectly sync up with those lips, or this kind of sounds like it was dubbed over in the studio or something. It's like, I'm used to that. I'm used to watching older films, so I don't get, but I think the acting was great, even for dub over work. And the dub over work, in a way, kind of like helps the movie, because it's a little bit overacted, but not in a bad way, but like in a good way, in the sense it feels like a medieval stage play because of how the dub over work is done. So it's like watching like a really well shot stage play, like a Shakespearean play you're watching, but shot amazingly. I love the story here. I love the story of like the family, people wanting Excalibur. They want to be king. The struggle between good and evil that King Arthur has to have. He's trying to rid the land of evil. He's trying to not fall into the same traps that his dad did by making rash decisions, hasty decisions, and thinking short term and not long term, doing what's best for the good of the people. Because at one point in the film, he's like, if there's no laws the laws have to be for everybody, or they're not laws at all. Like, he's trying to be just, he's trying to be moral, but things keep getting in the way. Other people's decisions impact his decisions. And so I just love that constant, like, it's something that goes all the way through the film, is trying to learn from the mistakes of the past, trying to, correct that, stay on course, don't be distracted, make the right decisions, think long term, be compassionate, don't just think about conquest and taking over other countries, think about peace and morality and shit like that. So I love the moral of the story here. It's the struggle to just not be a piece of shit. It's basically what King Arthur's story was to me. It was just kind of like, man, this guy is like, he's trying his best to like not be a warmongerer and take care of the peasants and everyone in the kingdom, but there's all this other shit going on that he can't help but make some decisions because they're forcing his hand in a way and things like that. And so I like that. The guy who played Merlin in here, I don't know who he is, but I think people have said like this is the best portrayal of Merlin that they've ever seen, and I'll take their word on that, because I think this guy did a really good job. I'm not a fan of whatever his getup is, the metal plate on his head and robe, but like before I watched the film, I'm like, oh, Merlin doesn't really look like a wizard per se. But then after you watch this, you're like, oh yeah, I like that guy. Like, I like Merlin. He's like, yeah. So I love the character in here. Trying to think of what I didn't like in this film. I do think the runtime is a little bit long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. There are some moments where I'm like, okay, I don't know what we're doing here. There are some things I think you have to understand. You have to know the lore you to understand some of, because it cuts between things, and there's certain things that are shown that aren't explained exactly, and I think you kind of have to have a background in this to understand what that stuff means. And as someone who knows jack shit about any of this, some of it I'm like, oh, I kind of had to Google, like, why did they do that? How did they end up there? How did but all in all, guys, I had a really good time. I was honestly surprised. This was a blind buy for me. I've never seen this film before. I bought it on 4K. And this was, unlike the Possession 4K that I bought, where it was a major letdown. This is a blind buy that was very, very well worth it. I can't wait to dig into the extras on here. I can't wait to dig into and watch the TV cut as well. But yeah, I think it's an excellent film. Is it a film that I would rank in my top 10? No. 20? No. But I would probably put it in my maybe top 30, 40 films for right now, just as a first time view. It definitely cracks top 40 films for me. I really enjoyed this film. It was a very good time. It felt grand. It felt epic. It felt magical. It was serious. It just had a weight to it. The score here was just so epic. Very well done. I mean, everything here just comes together amazingly for this film. And I just, other than the runtime being a bit long and me not quite understanding some of the Arthurian legend and having to Google certain things, I think this is a really good film. A very, very, very good film. So, all right, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about 1981's Excalibur. I fucking loved it. All right, have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.